I'm gonna put in the coordinates because my phone is actually my speedometer right now. I met James Roberts over at the First Christian Church. There was a man there named Robert Farnsworth who was threatening him and having he was having a schizophrenic meltdown, and I'll let him tell the story. But the thing is, because I intervened, Farnsworth chose for me to be his next victim and never let it go. The way that I was treated by the police is the same way as almost a dozen other people in this town who have been interviewed about it. The police didn't want to listen to. So James Roberts is here. He's going to tell part of his story. I'm going to try to interview him because this does go very much in with mine. Take me to Tillamookkk Sporting Goods. That way when we get to Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Tillamookkk Sporting Goods. Here we go.
It doesn't automatically turn off on me.
No.
Alright, I guess this is primarily about faith in law enforcement
Head
to
east
do their
on 3rd
jobs.
Street towards Stillwell Avenue, then turn left onto Stillwell Avenue.
Are you a troublemaker?
No,
Alright.
not at all.
Doesn't sound to me like you spend a whole bunch of time in jail.
No.
Had you had problems with Robert Farnsworth before that day that I...
Yes.
Yeah?
Numerous times.
Did you ever call the cops?
No, I never called the cops on him because I knew that he was just having a meltdown.
Alright.
I just kind of ignore what he has to say because I know it's just a meltdown.
Turn left onto Stillwell
When he drinks
Avenue, then
alcohol,
turn
he
right
gets
onto
a
1st
little
Street.
bit. When he drinks alcohol, he shouldn't be. He's an Indian. He shouldn't be drinking alcohol. But whenever he drinks alcohol, he becomes an instant asshole as far as I'm concerned.
Alright.
But that's the reason I've never called the cops on him, because I know that
300
his
feet, turn
problem
left onto 5th
is a
Street.
health problem.
Turn left onto 5th Street.
With him physically assaulting
Head
people when
west
he
on
gets
4th
like
Street
that?
toward
Does
No.
that ever
Then
scare
turn
you?
He
right
doesn't
onto
hit
Grove
anybody.
Avenue.
No?
Take
He's
the
never
next
hit
left onto
anybody.
5th Street.
No.
I have him recorded assaulting people on my phone.
I've never known him to hit anybody.
Oh.
No.
Alright.
Unless they take a swing at him first.
Well, that's not what I saw in the two situations where he assaulted
500
others.
feet, turn left onto
Uh-huh.
7th Street. Turn left onto 7th Street.
No, Sean, if he's hitting people, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, that's one of
I've
the
never
things.
seen him assault anybody.
That's
He
one
just
of,
has a big freaking mouth that needs to be shut.
well, that's one of the things I was just talking to you about before I started the video was the recordings of him assaulting people
Uh-huh.
when I went to the police.
No, he came up
Turn
to my
left on US 101 North Pacific Avenue.
he came up to my apartment on numerous occasions, and he started trouble, but I don't know, he blurred out. He didn't like the things that I had, my artwork and stuff. He said it was against God, and I got two lions that came from China, and they got squint eyes, and to most people they're really spooky looking, but to me they're good luck. And he goes, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that. I said, I don't care what you like, you can get out of my house if you would. I've kicked him out on numerous occasions.
So for you guys being used to it, it's just no big thing.
No, it's no big deal. He's no big deal. Just another guy with a big mouth out there.
Well, with the way that he targeted me, it was definitely, and still is, a big deal.
I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. When I
You got
recorded,
it clear.
thank you. When I recorded him assaulting that lady over at the First Christian Church,
That was his girlfriend.
Take the next
Yep,
right onto
it was
Laurel
still
Avenue,
assault.
then turn
Yep,
right
it
onto 8th
still
Street.
was, and she actually called the cops on him. He
Yeah,
actually
I
went to jail
recorded
for
it.
that one.
Yep, but that was an assault. He did assault her.
Yep, he sure did.
So when you say that you've never heard of him assaulting,
Oh, I saw him push her a couple times.
Take the next left onto 6th
I've never
Street,
seen her
then turn right onto
physically
US
get
101
hit
North.
by him, but he's called her a bitch. He's pushed her up.
Take the next left onto 5th
Pushed him
Street,
off.
then turn right onto US 101 North.
Yeah, I live right there. Right there
that
in
one right
blue
there?
apartment. Yeah, I live upstairs there.
All right. I thought you said blue and white. This is actually the only angle I saw the white from. Now I can see it at the
Yeah,
base.
I live up there where that window is there on the end.
All right.
You walk up the steps here, and you
Next
go
left
through a
onto
white
5th
door, and then
Avenue,
you
then
take
turn left onto 4th Street.
a left upstairs. Number 6.
Now when you
Take the next left onto
with our
4th Street,
appointment
then
last
turn right
time,
onto US
what ended
101
up
North.
happening with that?
What's that?
Our appointment last time?
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't make it. I had friends coming over and everything. I didn't get a chance to call you. They didn't show up till 6 o'clock that night, and I really am sorry about
In
that.
400 feet,
That's
turn
right.
left onto Ocean Avenue. Take the second left onto Ocean Avenue, then
I
turn
waited
left onto
around all
1st
day
Street.
for them, and they finally showed up at 6 o'clock at night.
Well, on a few occasions when I came to try to get help about Farnsworth, you had told me that the police won't do nothing.
No, they won't. They don't do nothing.
Have you ever called him before?
Yeah.
What ended up happening in those situations?
No, I never called the police about it.
Well, when you were saying earlier to
500
me
feet, turn
about
left onto Goodspeed Place.
when you said that you,
Turn left onto
do I
Goodspeed
explain
Place,
that?
then turn left onto 1st Street.
I guess I'll let you explain your stance on that.
Well, I think that Mr. Farnsworth has,
In 400 feet,
Numerous
turn
health
left
problems.
onto Tillamookkk Avenue.
I believe he's got PSPD
Turn
or
left onto
PS,
Tillamookkk Avenue,
whatever
then
that
turn left
is.
onto Oregon 6 West.
And he has seizures. He's got this power trip going that he thinks he's King Tut. He likes to push people around that aren't going to go against him. He likes to push people around. He likes to talk big.
Turn left onto
But
Oregon 6 West, 1st Street.
he's nothing. Nothing wrong.
Well, for me, with him doing that a lot, it is something.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
know it
just
is.
because I'm pretty small and I'm easy to bully.
Right.
And I even did that multiple occasions, and that's one of the things that I tried to tell the cops about.
Turn
That
right
they,
onto US 101 North.
like you were
Pacific
saying,
Avenue.
Yeah.
they won't do nothing. But I had actually called the police
Uh-huh.
on multiple occasions, and other
Right.
people had actually called the police too.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was a situation where I did make a serious effort to turn it in.
Right.
With him and his wife pushing each other around,
Yes.
that's one of the things with the 3 people that he assaulted that are on camera. One of them was me, and it was an attempted assault. He basically bashed his mouth off my forehead.
Right.
I'll be right in.
All right. Let's see how I get out of here. There it is. Thanks for the ride.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? Good, man. There's something that fell out.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Is that important?
Yeah, probably.
See you in a few minutes.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, that's apparently the wrong way. This way. Oh. A lot of these people have known Farnsworth for a lot of years. And the whole pushing and shoving thing, that is something that, for a lot of people around here, they're fine with it, they're used to it. But also, there's the fact that it does break into violence. Now, if, you forgot about this time something happened or that time something happened, that's a little different from they never have. Now, there were a couple of people that told me that they never knew him to be violent. There's also a couple of people that said, man, he gets like that, he gets to drinking, and he gets to screaming in your face, and when you leave, he chases you down and hits you in the back of the head. Or he just keeps screaming at you and screaming at you and screaming at you and screaming at you, which just sucks. And that's what he was doing when I was filming the situation with James Roberts. Like, for me, that's a scary situation. For him in the moment, it's a scary situation. For a lot of people, knowing him, they think nothing of it. Grew up with him, it's just another thing with him. But it's not just another thing with me. For me, he's gotten violent with me. He has stalked me through town. He also has a history of violence against people, including choking people out. And that is something I have to be afraid of. But I also know that not everybody's experience with him is going to be the same as mine. See, that's the thing that bothered me about Farnsworth, is that people are treating it like it's a nonchalant thing. He's gotten to skate on the mentally ill tag. Well, it's no big thing. He's just having an episode. Well, his episodes do result in him hurting people and him stalking people. And him, obviously, Mr. Roberts was explaining the King Tut thing, where Farnsworth thinks he's the king shit. And it's scary for somebody like me. Now, for them knowing him and for me being an outsider, it's very different for me and Farnsworth. A lot of people know him, like Jason Scudder. And it wasn't just the fact that he was doing it, it was the rapidity with which he thought it was okay. Now, when he gets violent in front of you, and then people say, oh, well, I didn't know him to be violent, I'm like, well, I have a recording of him beating on a woman, and yeah, she's fighting back. They're like, oh, well, yeah, sometimes he does that. Sometimes he has a bad day. Sometimes he gets to drinking. He's on drugs. All these things that... Is that a valid excuse here, apparently? Well, it's not. He still did the behaviors, and unlike me, he's not able to check it. He's not able to check reality. He's not able to tell the difference between an intrusive thought and reality. What's an intrusive thought? You're sitting in court. The guy who raped and murdered your daughter has only been convicted of the rape, but they're going to let him walk free on the murder. And you think to yourself, all sorts of horrible things that you would do to that man in that moment. All the things that man who did that to your little girl, you think of all of the things that you would do to him. That's an intrusive thought. See, a lot of people tell me they do this and they do that, and they spit out a bunch of intrusive thoughts. That's all it is an intrusive thought. They don't understand that when somebody's in a state of crisis, it's a very scary thing, because you are barely able to hold it together. Now we get to hear from multiple people good things. We really do. A lot of people have said that when Farnsworth is not on drugs and not on alcohol, he's doing well. People like to give me updates on Farnsworth, but the thing is, I do have to worry about seeing him at the grocery store or at the meals. 13% battery, we're going up. Moving on up in the world. When Farnsworth has an episode and he's screaming at people and hooting and hollering and telling them that he's going to kill them and that they're rapists and they're child molesters and they're this and they're that, and he just won't let it go. A lot of these people here will just let it happen. And that's a scary situation for anybody. When it goes unchecked, that's what makes for the big head and tough thing. And when it's somebody new, and that guy is just hammering on it, understand that I have been through hell over abuse like that. And there are certain things you just don't do to people. Crimson! What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, this is Eli's dog.
Let's just do these ones. Yeah, and you have to use a. Oh, look at that cute one. I was gonna sit up out here and it looked for all the world like it was gonna rain.
Yeah, it did.
And now it doesn't.
Yeah. Do I get a grocery bag?
Absolutely. But I have to remember your name first.
Sean.
You didn't even give me a chance to try. But don't
Okay,
worry, I
try.
will. Okay. What is your aura? I think Sean. Is that
It's
right?
Frank.
Oh my goodness. Here.
It's Sean. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Oh, it's sugar free. Icky.
And know.
So there's a whole swarm of flies just hovering around right here. Kind of creepy. Move here, Eli.
Have you done everything?
What do you mean everything?
Have you turned them in?
I'm doing my best.
Oh, I just had
problem
one.
is-
I just had a sheriff show up to my house today.
To harass you?
No, just check in with me.
Oh.
It was my PO, so
Very cute.
not really. The one day I decide to stay home, he comes.
Well, that works.
I just wanted to make sure I lived there. I wasn't lying.
Right? Well, the problem is they're still not gonna allow me a place to just sit down and write it down in peace and quiet.
Like that?
Because it makes it easy to victimize me if they don't.
Well, the dog chewed up my hat today.
Ah, yeah, I saw Crimson out there.
You saw him out there? He's still out
Yeah.
there?
Of course he's still out there.
He's got the grass back.
Yep. Well, I figured I'm still trying to turn into stuff with Reeves. The problem is, like, go ahead.
I got 3 phones now.
Oh, cool.
I lost my other phone down at train tracks at the Air Museum. I had to go to ride the bus all the way down there to grab it. It was just laying there on the ground. It was the only phone I had to get. I went to Fred Meyer's this morning and bought my $3 phone.
Yeah, I can't go to Fred Meyer's. Cops didn't want to do their jobs.
You don't do what?
I said I can't go to Fred Meyer's. Cops didn't want to do their jobs.
Here tonight. Let's get a good group tonight. Good food, good people, can't beat that. So I think you've already seen kind of what's going on over here. You're gonna enjoy it. So let's have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this time together. Thank you for being with us today and bringing us here. Thank you for the good food and those who prepared it, provided it. We are blessed in so many ways. So we just pray for your blessing upon us as we have this time together and enjoy this good meal. We just thank you for all good things. In Jesus' name. Okay.
It sounds like my dog returned.
I just probably want to go that direction and the drinks are over here. There's still cooking up there. The ones in here are done.
Get some real food, not that dessert.
Horrible.
Yeah, that's scary to see that. Just see a cop yell at your name and be like, "Are you there?" Yeah, what?
It's always strange to me when people say something different on camera than off camera, although not very much. The thing is that if somebody did not have the same experience as me, that doesn't make them a liar. That means their experience is different. For James, he has had this happen from Robert Farnsworth on many occasions, and he's used to it. Everybody here is used to it. And that's been the problem, is that they get used to it and they just let it happen. But the thing with James, he said that he'd help me turn it in. That was a while ago, and he wasn't able to make it a few times. Now we know that the other night I wasn't able to find his place. The time before that was the issue. You got to hear him. He had guests. It happened. He was going to call me and let me know, but you also get to hear how James's phone is. It's not very good. Not very good at all. Right now, all those people are currently standing in line, and I'll be doing an interview with Mr. Roberts afterwards as well. Like I said, his words aren't different by much. You know, he basically just told me the cops aren't going to do anything. That, you know, when Farnsworth's like that, you know, he can't do anything, and the cops aren't going to do anything, and he already knows the cops aren't going to do anything. But then I'm surprised that he never tried, because he had talked as if he had. So I guess that's being intimidated from the start. But for some people, they're just not scared by it. Like, of course, you got to hear Jason Scudder. He doesn't want to turn in Farnsworth. He doesn't want to help with that. And I don't blame him. Jason Scudder wasn't a witness to the situations with Farnsworth. Well, not between me and Farnsworth anyway. Jason Scudder said that he grew up with Farnsworth, and that Farnsworth was real cool. He changed mentally after his brother was killed, or after his brother died. When I explained to these people how Farnsworth was harassing me everywhere I go, and how scary it is for me that he keeps on doing that, that most of the people that I have to talk to in the average day are schizophrenic or fucked up on drugs. There's a lot of people that are not condescending assholes, and you can listen to the tone of voice and tell if they're being condescending or if they're being genuine. That's the thing about them youngins. When they get sarcastic, I get sarcastic. When they go overboard, I let them know, hey, I don't like that shit. Now with Eli, that's Eli friend. I got an interview with him recorded on here already, a couple of them. Digging through my phone for that takes a bit. And he said that he never knew Farnsworth to fight with anybody who wasn't assaulting him first. That's not been my experience, and that's not been a couple other people's experience. But like I said, not everybody's experience is the same. Farnsworth pushing his girlfriend back and forth a little bit, but not actually punching each other, I guess. But he didn't punch me either. Man, my nose is so stuffed up. And I'm not going to treat James like he's a liar just because his experience is different. But we are, in the interview, going to break open some of those differences, some of the things that do make him safer in this scenario and in this situation, and allow him, if he really felt the need to, could he go to the police? I think he probably could. James is telling me he's never been in trouble with the law before we started recording. And he also said there's been a few times that he's had to call the cops, but the cops haven't done anything. But of course, he made sure he clarified on camera, and that is important too. It is important to note. A lot of these people, they say they like Farnsworth when he's not drinking, when he's not on drugs. Some of them tell me stuff like, oh, well, you know, he's got this job that keeps him busy all the time, so you won't see him at the feed, so you'll be safer there. Cool. James gave me that piece of info. He's always giving me the down low on what Farnsworth's doing. For him, sitting next to Farnsworth at a meal isn't as scary. For me, it is. It's petrifying. I got to deal with a lot of meanness all the time, and I don't have any friends or any real connections here. And of course, being targeted like that, being yelled at and screamed at, knowing that he's got a history of harming people, that even with the police going out of their way to prevent me from turning him in. Well, hello, Eli. Sean David Schwartz. That sucks. I wanted to pet the dog. Eli is still yelling at me from a distance. Anyway, I got an interview with him on here. He actually pled no contest to rape. the 3 people that I showed the arrest records for all in a row, one of them is a teacher here. She served 6 hours in jail, and that's it. All the rest of it's a slap on the wrist. 6 hours in jail. We've met her on this channel. Heard her voice on this channel. So the other one was Robert Farnsworth. And I believe that one was for felony harassment and stalking, or no, misdemeanor harassment and stalking. The teacher who spent 6 hours in jail for having sex with a 14-year-old boy, she got a misdemeanor, I do believe. Farnsworth, that was misdemeanor too. Farnsworth's in the paper a lot for stalking and harassment and, of course, assault. And I'm glad that even though Farnsworth has that history, that at least he hasn't assaulted Jim. Jim said he's had to kick Farnsworth out of his house, and I'm glad that it's been a situation where he could. You know, the first time that I encountered Farnsworth, he was screaming at Jim. Jim was a pedophile, and he was going to kill Jim and all this other stuff. That he had a in closet palace with a bunch of fucking pornography, this, that, and the other. A child porn torture room, and like a bunch of other just off the wall shit. It's scary enough when somebody's screaming that at you. But at the very beginning, I didn't look Farnsworth's name up. I was like, who is that dude, and why does he keep messing with me? People said, oh, it's Farnsworth, he's harmless. And then he assaulted someone in front of me, and then Lewis came up to me and told me that 2 other people had assaulted him, and then he'd assaulted one other person. A couple other people told me about situations. They said, oh, he's harmless. I've never seen him hit anybody. I said, well, he's assaulted myself by that point. And 2 other people on camera, including an ex-girlfriend. Yeah, that makes him scary to me. He's actually violent in front of me. Let's see how much battery I got. 12%. That's a decent amount. I'm gonna go back inside. Maybe the line is smaller now. I should probably get the stuff together to try to show the library about the different stuff that happens there. And you know, I do record the stuff that happens in the Tillamookkk parking lot at the Tillamookkk Sporting Goods too, including a bunch of illegal and illicit activities. No one's gonna keep me safe. I gotta keep myself safe, and I can keep myself safe best by recording everything. All right, I can go through line now, right?
Yes.
Very good.
And if there is hot dogs, they're shortly. And then
Yes,
there's
ma'am.
not enough for the hot dogs behind me on the table.
Okay, all right. Are you eating here today? Which salads? Macaroni.
And Gary can get you some bags too if you want. Okay.
How's that one?
Professional staffers right here.
That's Steve right there.
Yeah.
Possibly tell him to slow down.
All right. What can I get
Okay.
for you today, sir?
How many hot dogs would you like today? Yeah, you don't want
Salad?
2 and 2.
That one good?
2. Okay, let me get one more out.
You want some hot dogs? I'm gonna help you take it to your chair. Unless someone else.
That's what happens when you go with
Yeah, that's it, Jessica. How about you carry that one too? Oh, now the traveler just got together, wow. That's incredible. To go? You got it. Nicole, do you want macaroni? Yeah. Thank you. How about hot dog today? For fun?
And a hot dog? Janice?
Put it right here. You want me to set this behind so you can put the condiments on it? Okay, Larry. All right, which do today? Okay, you can come back for another.
Are you eating here?
I assume you're
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
get one of those, veggie dogs. Every time you come back, you take one.
You're welcome. I don't know if you're gonna find any of that. Do you want potato salad too?
No, thank you.
Would you like hot dog? More of the max one?
No, that ought to be good. I'm gonna put some beans on it. I mean, may I please have some beans?
Sneak it in there by your
Ma'am.
corn.
I didn't want to be presumptuous.
Yeah.
Only if you're offered.
Would you like some corn?
No, ma'am, I got no teeth.
Okay.
We
If
got
I choked to
knives.
death on that, I would definitely go into like Darwin Awards. Is that right?
Oh, well, Marlisa might submit you for it, but we'll see. Okay, you want one or two today?
Okay,
Perfect.
merci.
There are condiments behind me. And then there's also watermelon if
They
you
make
want.
them flavored now?
The condiments, yeah.
I'm sorry.
You want some hot dogs to go? Everybody come back for more.
All right, there's nobody here who's hostile, so I am missing trouble with that.